in this video, for any of you guys that don't know what Qubic is, I'm going to explain what Qubic is. And for you guys that are a little bit more experienced and know a bit about Qubic, I'm going to actually go into a bit more detail on Qubic and show you where you can find every bit of information you ever need to know about Qubic. So let's get into it. So yeah, the number one place to come, and it's as simple as this: when you want to find information about Qubic, just check out the website. And what I'm going to do in this video is just go through the website and talk you through it, so you don't actually have to go through it, and you can find out as much information as you'll ever need. So when you just go to the Qubic website, so it's qubic.org, you're brought here, and you're going to see that it says that Qubic is the first ever useful proof of work level 1 blockchain. Now, interesting things is, firstly, Qubic, just to kind of make it easier to understand, they're calling it a blockchain, but Qubic actually is a quorum, so it's not actually a blockchain, which is funny enough. And then it is, in my opinion, a layer 1, but the creator will say that's the layer 0, but I think it can be described as a layer 1. And then it's a useful proof of work, which what that means is that it takes all the power that miners use to secure the network and power the network, and it puts all that power, computing power, to use. And what Qubic does through that is trains artificial intelligence, and that's one of its most unique selling points. So then if we go down here, we see it says, be part of our journey to achieve true AI power powered by useful miners. So that's what it's telling you, is that the miners' compute power is attempting to achieve true AI power. And then here, if you click on this link, you can join the Qubic Discord. And by joining the Qubic Discord, you can find all the information in the world that you would ever want to know about Qubic and what's going on in Qubic. You can even see what the developers are working on, and many things like that. So that's all you have to do to see all the chats that are going on in the community, all to talk about price predictions, all the chat about what the developers are working on. You can even become a developer and on the Discord work with people on the Qubic network. And then this link here says discover Qubic, and that'll lead to the about section that we'll go over in a second. Then there's a video here that you can watch that introduces Qubic, which I recommend watching. And then we get down into the nitty gritty of what makes Qubic so unique. So firstly, as it says here, feeless transactions. So it's actually, the transactions are free on the Qubic network and offline payment verification. Then it says here that Qubic is one of the few layer 1s which doesn't charge for making value transfers. Finality ensures that votes from 451 computers, which is the quorum, are reliable for offline payment verification. So it's free and it operates offline. The main things that you need to know, and if you're untechnical like me, all you really care about. Qubic is completely open source, which is fantastic to know. So all development is open source and available on GitHub. So you can see everything that's going on with Qubic. All the code that's used for it is completely open source, and you can play around with it just as you want, and you can add to the Qubic network as well if you want. Then AGART is AI built on top of Qubic, and AGART, as it says here, aims to provide true AI open source to everyone. And basically that's what the compute power from the miners on the Qubic network, so the people who are mining, so like you with a laptop right now could mine Qubic. You need probably a more powerful computer than your laptop, but you can mine Qubic, and when you're mining Qubic, you're getting paid for providing your power to the Qubic network, and you get paid in Qubic, and that power of your computer works towards training AI on tasks like just things that you would complete in a CAPTCHA form. The AI is learning, and the ultimate goal of that is a really big goal that they have. It's to create an AGI, and then that AGI is going to have use cases all over the world. And you're talking about a really potentially a huge blue chip company, or blue chip, because it's not a company, a blue chip blockchain or blue chip development that's happening right here. So it's definitely a great time to join or to buy some Qubic. Whether it achieves all that it's claiming that it's going to achieve in the future, who knows? But it's definitely a great time to buy some Qubic. Then we can see here that it's got smart contracts. It's already smart contract enabled. They're upgrading the system. There should be more smart contracts on it soon. So unique smart contracts with burn mechanism and launched via an IPO with the possibility of passive income. So basically, with smart contracts, when someone's launching an app or a new app, a decentralized app on the Qubic chain, that will come with a smart contract IPO where people can get passive income by giving their Qubic as part of the IPO that will add that decentralized app to the Qubic network, and then all that Qubic will be burned. And we'll talk about how much Qubic has been burned in it soon, but that's just another really interesting point. As we heard here, says that it's useful proof of work. So instead of wasting the energy of our miners, they perform AI tasks for researching solutions for AGART. So, again, really important here. Instead of wasting energy, they're actually using to perform AI tasks. So this is like a green energy platform. It's actually using the energy and computing power and electrical power of its network. And then it's got a quorum. So quorum, Qubic's protocol for true finality, fast smart contracts, and decentralization. And we should mention that why it's so quick is that Qubic can operate 40 million transactions per second. So it's super quick with true finality. So when a transaction happens, it happens instantly and it's finalized truly straight away. And then the Qubic network is extremely decentralized as well, just like Bitcoin. In fact, I was watching some of the Qubic team talking recently, and they were explaining how Qubic is more decentralized than the Bitcoin network. And then it's got oracles built into it, which bridge between the digital blockchain environment and the outside world, and they provide real-world data to smart contracts and the Qubic protocol. So, a lot of blockchain networks out there don't have oracles, but Qubic does, and that's a really big deal. Then if you want to know where to buy Qubic, here's the information that you're looking for. These are links to the exchanges where it's traded right now, and when it gets added to more exchanges, they'll be added here. And then they talk about AGART here, and we can read more about it. But as it says, AGART is AI running on top of Qubic that gets its information from hundreds of thousands of Qubic miners, which are creating billions of artificial neural networks. And we'll look at that in more detail in a second. And then we see more details. CPU and GPU powered by hundreds of thousands of miners. It's actually CPU power, I think, that primarily is powering the Qubic network, which is unique among blockchain technology. Real world data, so it gets real world data and real time data through its Oracle machines. Outsource computations, so with the help of the Oracle machines, AGART can outsource computations around the globe. Again, that's through the mining power. True AI, so it aims to be true AI for everyone. So again, Qubic, if you really read into it, they want to make money, obviously, and be a successful network, but it appears that there's a real consideration for making a better world here with this network. The more you look into it, and developing an AI that's decentralized that will help make the world a better place, which is something that I love. As we can see here again, it's open source. So once AGART is live, it'll be open source for everyone. So everyone will have access to AGART. And then, use proof of work again transforms computational power into AI training. And then the founder, Qubic literally came from beyond. Meet the legendary founder, which is he's considered he goes by the name Come From Beyond, but his actual name is Sergey Ivancheglo. Assembler, basic. He does C++, HTML, Java. He does all these computing languages. He's basically a computing genius or development genius. Created the first DAG protocol. There's his name, Sergey Ivancheglo. Founder of NXT and co-founder of IOTA, creator of the very first 100% proof of stake protocol, created the very first non-Bitcoin clone, and founded top one, the number one and number three best return on investment coins ever in the history of crypto. Founded the very first ICO, so initial coin offering project. So this guy is a big deal, and he's one of the OGs of the crypto space, and could be one of the top geniuses in the crypto space. So that's a a really, really big point that makes me super bullish on Qubic. Is the founder, and a place where you can secure a Qubic. So if you're looking actually for wallets that you can go and store your Qubic on, here's all the details. They have actually got a cold storage wallet now called the Hash wallet. You can look that up yourself, but I'm sure that'll be added to the website soon. Then in the frequently asked questions section, we just see things like, what is Qubic? And Qubic is a unique layer 1 useful proof of work crypto platform. Qubic utilizes a previously unseen protocol, the Quorum protocol, for real finality and the fastest smart contracts. Additionally, Qubic is capable of combining the power of oracles and smart contracts and has feeless transactions and asset transfers. It leverages computational power for AI training, making proof of work useful. And I won't go into the details of what it says there. What problems Qubic solve? Qubic addresses various challenges. Firstly, all transactions on the Qubic protocol are feeless, again, as it says, making it highly user-friendly and appealing for widespread adoption. Additionally, Qubic stands out as one of the few protocols capable of seamlessly combining smart contracts and oracles, enhancing smart contracts by providing them with real-time and real-world data. Each transaction and smart contract execution is final thanks to Qubic's unique Quorum protocol, which relies on more than a simple majority for every decision. Furthermore, in the realm of mining, Qubic resolves the issue of energy wasted by directing the computational power from the miners towards the training of artificial neural networks. This strategic use of computational resources taps into the network's substantial capacity, advancing machine learning and mitigating the environmental impact associated with traditional mining practices. Basically what it's saying is they're training artificial intelligence, building artificial neural networks, attempting to build artificial general intelligence, so artificial intelligence smarter than a human, capable of logical reasoning and thinking, and at the same time they're a green energy platform. And then let's see, is there anything else that we can see that we would really like to read up on here? No, I don't, but you can come and check some of this information yourself. Actually, here's a good place. So what is the burn mechanism for Qubic? So currently there are two burn mechanisms: by initiating smart contracts through an initial public offering where the costs for shares are burned, or by executing smart contracts. Later, two other mechanisms will be added, having oracles burn Qubic while providing the Qubic chain with real-world data, and the usage of AGART. Really big deal, this whole section here. If you don't quite understand what it means, that means burning Qubic, so reducing the supply of Qubic. So right now, there's what's 80 to 90 trillion Qubic in existence. The more of an ecosystem that's built on top of the Qubic network, and the more the oracles are used, and the more AI is used on Qubic, the more Qubic that's going to be burned, meaning that just by holding your Qubic, the market cap of Qubic doesn't have to increase, but just by holding your Qubic with burns and the supply reducing, your Qubic can go up in value, even if no one's buying it. So that's a really, really big deal, the burns section of things here. Then if we go to the about section over here, so we're just looking at that QBC is, then Qubic comes from the acronym QBC, which stands for Quorum-Based Computation. And then the community and the founder, Qubic, and this is really important again, Qubic is a community-driven project, completely open source and under anti-military license. Qubic is founded, and importantly not owned or anything like that, founded by Sergey Ivancheglo, the creator and the co-creator of the first full POS and DAG protocol, NXT and IOTA. Now, what's really important about that is that this has been given to the community. Qubic's been given to the community. So from a regulatory standpoint, nobody owns this network. There's nobody trying to sell shares in this. It's completely fair launched, as we can see here down here. There was no pre-mine, no venture capitalist money involved. It's completely fair launched and just given to the community. The only way for anyone, including Sergey Ivancheglo, to get Qubic is by mining it or buying it. And Sergey Ivancheglo has been buying Qubic, and you can buy it for around the same price that he's been buying it. Really important. Then if you look at the Qubic community, there's a huge community of around 88,000 people right now and growing. There's over 500,000 miners mining on the Qubic network, and that's always growing constantly. 40 million plus smart contract transfers per second. So this is a super, super quick technology. Since 2012 is when this original idea surfaced. Sergey Ivancheglo has been talking about Qubic since 2012, and he's finally putting it into action and making it happen. The mainnet was only launched last year around this time, so this is a really, really new network, and you're really early if you're investing in Qubic. Imagine where this is going to be in the next couple of years. Already, just by 3 smart contract IPOs, there's been 10.5 trillion Qubic burned. So you can imagine how many Qubic are going to start being burned when this project really takes off and the ecosystem really takes off. So the Qubic that you just hold is going to become more and more valuable the more burns that happen. And there's going to be another burn coming up in Q2 for the game that they're launching called My Last Match, I think it's called. And then there's 676 people in this dynamic assembly of computers, which makes this network truly decentralized. Apparently, I don't quite understand how a quorum works, but apparently it does. And then when it talks here about smart contracts, Qubic smart contracts differ significantly from others. Each contract must pass a quorum proposal vote, ensuring only useful and legitimate contracts are added. When a smart contract is accepted, it's launched via an IPO with 676 shares. The Qubic spent on these shares is locked into the smart contract, reducing Qubic's circulating supply and paying for contract execution. Shareholders can earn passive income from contract fees. The contract is self-sustaining until the locked Qubic is depleted, after which a portion of shareholder fees funds further execution. The first 3 smart contracts burned 10.5 trillion Qubic. So again, the whole point that they're getting across here is about burns, the ability to earn passive income from smart contracts in the Qubic network, and the fact that Qubic is truly decentralized compared to a lot of other networks out there. Then when they talk about the quorum protocol, I still have to look into what quorum is and understand it in more detail, but this is what they say about the quorum protocol. Operates with 676 computers, handling transactions, executing smart contracts, securing the blockchain, and liaising with Oracle machines. It ensures finality and reliability by requiring over 2/3 of computers to agree on a result. Qubic achieves this with an average block time of 7 seconds thanks to a sufficient bare metal code execution. Previously, Qubic had a block time of 0.2 seconds and plans to return to sub-second block times after scheduled computer node upgrades in Q2, Q3, and Q4 of 2024. And then there's Oracle machines, as we mentioned. So Oracle machines will be used to make Qubic smart contracts even smarter by resolving events through trustworthy data such as stock prices, sports scores, or sensor readings, and much more. Also, oracles will give Qubic the ability to observe the outer world and outsource computations. So basically, through Oracle machines, Qubic can link to the real world and pull data from the real world to add into its AI and into smart contracts that are created on the network. And the oracles will burn Qubic as well, which is another really interesting point. And then again, we're talking about AI and AGART. AGART is an AI software running on top of Qubic that gets this information from many hundreds of thousands of Qubic AI miners, which are creating billions of artificial neural networks with their computational power And the goal is to create an open source, true AI publicly available for everyone. And again, we're talking about that philanthropistic, can't even pronounce that word correctly. I'm so bad at pronunciations, but the kind of philanthropic, I think is the right way to pronounce it, nature of Sergey Ivancheglo and the whole team behind the Qubic network is that they really are focused on building a better world and genuinely seem to care about doing that. And then we've already talked about what useful proof of work is. We've already talked about the feeless transactions and offline payment verification. And then up to the top here, you can go across to mining, and you can see then that we've got all the details on how you can become a miner. So if you're interested in mining on the Qubic network, you need to get yourself a really, really good computer. I've been interested in doing some mining, but you know, to get those top mining computers, you're talking around 10 grand to pay for one of them to make the mining really, truly efficient and valuable. But the details on how to become a miner, you can find them in Discord. The docs are probably the best place to look for that information. And then if we go down here and we can see AI training is useful proof of work. The Qubic ecosystem pushes the boundaries of traditional proof of work by employing AI training tasks in its consensus mechanism. Here, validators known as computers backed by miners, often referred to as AI miners, transform the computational energy expended in the mining process into valuable, beneficial outcomes. The useful proof of work protocol directs this computational power of nearly 100,000 miners, it's actually 500,000 now, AI miners towards the AI training, which are creating billions of artificial neural networks. So we've basically talked about that already. Computers versus AI miners, we don't really care about that. We've already covered that. Then if we go up to the mining section, we already did the mining section. We check out the Agart section, and there's a read more section here. And we can see a whole blog on Agart's journey towards a true AI singularity. And this is actually quite an interesting read. So I'm going to read through this because I think it's worth reading if you haven't read it before. But it says that the first trillionaire will be an artificial intelligence entrepreneur. The majority of people either agree or disagree with this prediction, and only a small fraction see the third option, the whole of mankind being the beneficiary. And what is not less important, the AI belonging to no one, everyone, could not be misused easily. In Qubic, we are developing a platform where AI won't be constrained at all. By the way, if the English doesn't sound great in this or very well written, it's probably not, because it's most likely written by Sergey Ivancheglo, who doesn't actually speak English, but he can write some English. But he's not in any way fluent in English, and probably uses a lot of translation to write this. But basically, what's saying there is that rather than an AI creating the first trillionaire like Elon Musk or Jeffrey Bezos, benefiting from AI, it's saying, why not give AI that benefits everyone in the world, belongs to the people, and can't be misused to give some company or some person massive control over the world. So Agart is the AI running on top of Qubic and is aiming to make the third option come true. The third option being giving it to the people. The name consists of two words, AI meaning artificial intelligence and GART meaning yard or garden. So how does Agart work? It is an AI software that gets information from nearly 100,000, now that it's over 500,000, Qubic miners, which are creating billions of artificial neural networks with their computational power that is supposed to compress and decompress random data. This simple task, which the ANNs are trying to accomplish, is just food for another artificial neural network created and run by Agart. The latter ANN, so this one that's created and run by Agart, or rather its many variations called Teacher, modifies the former artificial neural networks, so these first ones, so they solve their task, compression and decompression, more efficiently. So the Teacher is training the initial artificial neural networks to be more efficient and cleverer. If somebody asked what methods Teacher used to modify the pupils, no one would be able to answer, not even the creator of AGART, because the teacher applies simple operations encoded in their own neurons and synapses. Humans, he always writes humans as humans in his own funny way. Don't understand. That's how I definitely know this is wrote by Sir G. Ivancheglo, by the way. Don't understand how all that works. We don't see the forest from the trees. Why such strange approach? Because one day teacher will be ordered to teach another ANN to be more efficient in teaching, and that teacher 2 will do the same on teacher 3 and so on, and eventually we may face something called singularity or true AI. What he's talking about here, and I've explained this in other videos, and I'll actually share a video where I talked about this, but he's talking about the exponential growth of technology and the exponential growth of intelligence and artificial intelligence. You've heard of Ray Kurzweil's singularity, probably. If you haven't, you need to look it up or watch the video that I'll share at the end of this video. But that's basically what he's talking about, how this artificial intelligence is going to train itself to become more intelligent at an exponential rate, which is a really big deal, and that's what AGART does. And when you understand this detail, it's going to make you super bullish that they're attempting to do this. So AGART goes public. But even before reaching our main goal of creating true AI, Qubic will provide a smart contract feature to run this AI, AGART, and make it publicly available. Oracle machines, another Qubic feature, will give AGART the ability to observe the outer world and outsource computations, yet another feature, to change that world to conduct experiments. These two main instruments, observation and experimentation, let the humankind become what we are now. Same instruments provided by Qubic should give AI all the means for improving itself in a similar manner. So basically what they're saying is that us as humans, we've observed the world around us, and then we experiment with how to interact with the world, and through those experiments we've created the world that we've created, where we have computers, cars, we live in homes, we live in societies. And they're saying that they're going to do the same thing on the Qubic network by using oracles to explore the world by taking all the data and being able to source all the data that's out there in the whole of the web space or the World Wide Web. Even YouTube videos like this, taking all that information, feeding it back into AGART, who then has all that information and then just runs constant experiments with that information to try and find the best results, learn about the world, and find ways to improve it. So every person who wants to give away spare computational power for finding solutions of AI-related tasks will be running a special algorithm, which is an integral part of AGART. Seeing in real time how close their solution is to the perfect solution, all this being transparent to everyone, and everyone will be able to start from any point of progress of any other AGART participant, thus continuing their work or attempting to go in another potentially more promising direction. Basically what that's saying is that you can become a miner. Any person in the world can become a miner on the Qubic network, give their computational power AGART, and get paid in return for it, and at the same time hopefully create a better world. And the current state is just proof of work. So those who are familiar with Bitcoin miners can see a resemblance here, with the important difference of Qubic's mining for AGART being really useful. But being a Qubic miner does not mean you will earn Qubic for mining, but pool operations pay miners for computational power based on performance finding solution. Okay, I don't dive into what they're saying there in many details, but they're basically just saying that they're getting to the point of making this a true useful proof of work platform, and that the miners get paid from pool operators, and I won't go into detail on that. Then if we go up here, just looking at the last two sections really quick, you can see all the details in your wallets again. And if you go up here, you can see the Qubic blog, which I'm not going to go through each of these blog posts now, but I'll probably read through them in later videos. But again, they're really, really interesting and useful. So up on the screen now, you're going to see a video that's explaining Qubic and how it can build artificial neural networks, and is trying to create an artificial general intelligence and lead on to creating a singularity. And I think that's really interesting and worth watching, and I'll see you guys on the outside.
Say